Hello friends, welcome to the first video of 2026. If you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Leandra. I am a very proud Duke Law graduate and a big law attorney in New York City. Now, some of you guys, if you're not new to the channel, you may have noticed that I was a little quiet in 2025, and we're going to get to the reasons for that a little bit later in the vlog. But for now, I do think that there are two things that you need to know before we start off. The first thing is, I know what type of attorney I am. I finally made the decision. Last time you guys left me, I was in my second rotation at my firm, going through the capital markets group and just trying to determine what type of work I actually wanted to do as an attorney, especially an attorney in big law. I finally decided 2 months ago, I'm officially a securitizations attorney. I'll have a little description of what securitization is at the top, in case you don't know what that is. Happy that I am part of the group. I did not know anything about securitizations before I joined, and turns out it is very, very real when attorneys tell you that they just fell into their practice groups, because that is exactly what happened to me. Second thing is, I'm officially a third-year associate. I'm officially a mid-level. Yeah, at least we're getting that mid-level paycheck, but that also means getting the mid-level work. So I have a lot of things on my plate. I'm also getting a lot more responsibility. I am delegating to people. I have bigger teams, all of these other things. It's all very exciting. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I am learning so much and actually having just a little bit of fun with everything. But yeah, those are the two things that I think that you guys needed to know. Today is Wednesday. I'm about to head off to work. Shouldn't be too busy today. I have a deal that's supposed to launch today and then price next week, and then just regular work stream stuff for all of my other deals. I'm not sure how many deals I'm on, which is kind of a problem because I've been focusing on like specific ones that have a more tight timeline, but I do have a lot of drafting to do. I'm doing a lot more drafting now. I'm doing a lot more like reviewing other people's work, so that's on my plate for today. So that's what we're going to go and head off and do when we leave. Also, obviously, we got a new sew-in in. It's new hair. She is lovely, layered, long, and a dark chocolate brown for the fall, which I think you could see a little bit more when I hit the light. But yeah, let's get to work. It's gonna be a busy day, so let's go. Good morning from Washington, D.C. I had a late night yesterday. I am pretty tired, but we are here on what is my first recruitment trip in quite some time. We're having a reception for the 1Ls at Howard, and I am excited to go. If you guys remember, when I first started, I used to love going on a bunch of recruitment trips and just talking to a bunch of students wherever they would send me and wherever I could go. I did stop doing that around the same time that I stopped hosting, for about the same reasons as to why I went very quiet in 2025. So I think now, especially being in our nation's capital, is a really great time to just talk a little bit about why I was super quiet in 2025. Essentially, y'all, if you have just not been aware, there are a lot of things going on both last year and also right now in these great United States. Literally last night, as I was about to go to bed, I logged into social media for like one last time and was just just hit with a video of an ICE agent shooting a woman straight in the face like 3 times. Like, there's just a lot that was going on last year. There's a lot that's going on this year. And last year specifically, I got really immersed in what was happening. I spent a lot of my time consistently consuming the news, images of all of this suffering, of everything that was happening. And predictably, it had a pretty bad effect on my mental health. I replaced a lot of my good habits with like doom scrolling the news and just consuming it in a way that was just not very helpful, both to myself and to the causes that I care about and actually want to help. At the same time, I was also kind of grappling with cognitive dissonance. It's basically like that really bad feeling you get when who you think you are doesn't align with who you actually are or with your actual actions. I benefit from this system that I'm in currently, even though I am highly, deeply critical of it. And I kind of had to sit with what that meant. And making vlogs, even unintentionally, it can romanticize like big law and all of these things. And as, again, if you are not aware, big law had a test when it comes to this whole rise of authoritarianism and fascism thing, and a lot of them failed, including my employer failed. So for me, it had to do with just taking a step back and trying to understand exactly where I fit into all this and where things like these vlogs fit into all this. I don't mean to romanticize big law, but I think just by virtue of living here and by virtue of the access and the privileges that I have gotten from being at this job and having the money and the salary that I have and that I will continue to get if I continue at this job, it's just really changed a lot. It changed a lot about how I view the world. I honestly didn't really know how I was supposed to really view things. It was very, very different in terms of, you know, going on my phone and seeing like people being just taken in the streets by masked men to like looking up and I'm in this high-rise apartment. It just felt very, very disingenuous, and I didn't know how to come and make content, both feeling like the content wasn't just silly at a time like this, and also to make content that was both honest, in that I don't want to hide, I don't want to ignore the fact that, you know, I am part of the system technically and I do benefit from it, but I also don't want to consistently be engaging in self-flagellation where I'm just like consistently apologizing and all of these other things. I want to be effective. I have a lot of things that I care about when it comes to civic engagement, when it comes to the United States. I think I realized in 2025 that I am quite patriotic. I think we have let a lot of figures on the right determine and really shape the image of what it means to be a patriot. But I think I realized last year that I am very patriotic and I just want to engage in this thing that we have going together in a way that's still very honest. I just didn't feel for a while there, I didn't know how to do that, so I just took a step back. I don't have all the answers right now. To be fair, I do not have all the answers. Things are still going on, but I feel like I'm not frozen anymore. I'm entering this new year with a clearer sense of how I want to show up through my own civic engagement, through honesty, and through content that reflects my life without pretending like it's perfect or ignoring reality. And with recruiting, I'm trying to hold some nuance. I did stop recruiting after the whole capitulating thing, but at the same time, I obviously have this big goal of always wanting to talk to future lawyers, especially Black and brown lawyers, and not wanting to close the door behind me. So I am trying to find a way that I can make both of those things happen at the same time. Like I said, I don't have all of the answers, but we're going to figure out together. I do have a plan. And I'm going to try very hard to stick to it so that we can keep doing this thing that we have going on and doing it honestly. Now, moving on. Moving on from that, I am currently slow right now. I front loaded a lot of my work last night, which is why I had a late night. I got a lot of things out, so I'm just kind of waiting for people to get back to me, which is fabulous. I'm happy to be slow because I'm tired, but I'm probably gonna go and try and explore the hotel a little bit. I'm staying at the St. Regis this time instead of, I think last time I stayed at the Riggs. I don't know why, I just love these little like stuffy hotels when I travel for work. And stuffy, non-derogatory, like they just always have these like interesting history, so I just love staying in places like this. But so far so good. I think it's a really beautiful hotel, and it's been the service has been great. I'm just waiting for my friend Jordan, who was in the New York office but switched here, to come and pick me up at some point so that we can go to the office and get some coffee and maybe do a little bit of work. And then later tonight we have the Howard reception at this restaurant, forgetting the name of it, but they have the best pasta I have ever had, and I'm super excited to have it. But that's essentially the plan for today. Not too much work, knock on wood. Where's the wood? There's no wood here. There you go, knock on wood. And we're just gonna explore, do some work, and then do the reception later today. Small detail, but I love it when hotels have elevators with mirrors in them. I just love it. It's such a small little touch, but it just does so much. I forgot how jealous I was of this office last time I came here. Like, I generally don't like the glass doors in offices. It's very Panopticon type of vibe, but at least here it's all glass, but they have sunlight. The New York office is wedged in between buildings, so it's just a lot of darkness half the time. They have so much sun here. I'm so jealous. Let's do my favorite part. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Here's the outfit, simple. It is casual, so we're going casual. My hair looks so good. It just looks so good.
The way I love a good breakfast platter, breakfast at a hotel must be studied. Look how gorgeous this looks. We have some eggs, some bacon, potatoes, tomatoes, have a berry smoothie to my right, some coffee, some berries, and literally they just called me. I guess this was late. I did not notice, but it was about like 10, maybe 15 minutes late, and they just called me and told me they're comping my bill. So that's good for the firm because they don't have to pay for this now, but love a good hotel breakfast and some good customer service.
It is checkout time. I just finished repacking up, and I'm going to head either to the office or just somewhere where I can do some work. I am meeting up Jordan again for lunch, and then my flight back to New York is later this evening. But I will say that I had such a good time last night. I forgot how much I really enjoy talking to future lawyers and law students, especially my Black and brown law students and future lawyers. And when I run into some of you guys, those who watch watch the channel here or are on my TikTok, just like conversing with you guys. I truly miss that. It is so enjoyable, and I had such a good time doing it yesterday. So much so, like I talked so much that I did not get to eat a lot of the pasta that I really kind of went for, to be honest. But I did talk to one of the employees. I was telling her about how much I love their spicy penne alla vodka, and I was wondering how like I could get it in New York. And she went and got me an entire tub of the penne spicy alla vodka sauce for me to use at home. I just refrigerated it. I'm gonna try and go to a place where they'll let me put this in the refrigerator again, because this is literally like liquid gold to me. It is so delicious, and I just love good customer service like this. Like the way I'm gonna just be going back to the restaurant, because they just treated me so well and the food is so delicious. It is overwhelming. I do want to come back to DC maybe next summer, and I think I just want to do it right. I think DC has a lot of fun things that you can do other than obviously like see the monuments and such. It has a very big like Black population, lots of fun things. I just feel like every time I've come here, I just have not done it right. So I think sometime next summer I want to come to DC for the weekend, stay for Sunday, because I've heard that you like should not leave DC on a Sunday because of brunch. Maybe leave on like a Tuesday morning and just kind of go crazy. So if you are in DC, like you live in DC, or like you just know about DC and you know some fun areas, some fun places, good places to eat, some fun things to do, places to really have like a lot of fun, please share with the class. I would highly, highly appreciate it. But now I actually need to head out because I do have a meeting very soon that I need to be on, and then some work to do, and then home. Good morning. We are back in New York, and for someone who claims to hate to be late, I have been late a lot recently. I've developed a very bad habit of being late, and I need to work on that so badly. But I spent the entire morning basically cleaning my apartment, because every time I leave my apartment now, I try to leave it like showroom ready, because I am moving out and my boyfriend and I are planning on moving in together. But the timeline is a little bit weird because it could happen as soon as next month, February, or as late as May, because I'm essentially breaking my lease. Well, we're both breaking our leases, but he lives in like a rent-controlled apartment, so he already has somebody lined up who's going to be very willing to take that apartment. But I'm currently working with my landlords to put my apartment back on the market, and we're gonna start doing like apartment tours. That they're gonna start doing apartment tours for this apartment. So I'm trying to leave it like ready, because I hate it when I tour apartments or when I even see pictures of people's apartments online for rent and they're currently still living there and they don't like clean it up. They don't try to do a little something, you know? So I wanted to do that, did that. It took a little longer than I wanted to because I came back a little bit later. But we are meeting my boyfriend at Grand Central. I'm supposed to be there like very soon. And then we are going to start doing apartment tours. The requirements for the apartment is going to be the same as the requirements I had for my initial apartment hunt when I moved to New York. I want a lot of light, in-unit washer and dryer, and in-building workout or gym. And it's a reasonable distance between the apartment and work. Other than that, everything else is like a want, right? So I gotta go. I'll show you guys the apartment buildings, but like always, I'm not going to show you the one that I end up picking. It's going to be a little bit weird because I guess I won't know which one I'm picking depending on if we're moving in February or May. But let's go look at some apartments today, and also we're going to look at some apartments tomorrow as well. Just to know which one we would pick, and if we are moving next month, we know which one. If we're moving in May, we know which one.
Apartment number 1 was in a building that's about 45 minutes from Grand Central with a really manageable 7-minute walk from the apartment to the train, which was honestly exactly the distance we were looking for. The price range here was around $4,000 to $5,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, which felt reasonable for what was being offered. And I thought the building itself had a really nice hotel-like, spa-like feel to it that I really enjoyed. One thing I noticed immediately, and honestly this applied to every apartment we saw on this tour, was that all of these spaces were noticeably more spacious than my current apartment and every apartment that I toured when I first moved to New York, which was a really nice difference. Definitely enough room for 2 people, which made me really happy right away, and part of the reason why we are okay with the longer commute. This unit had a really nice big living room with large windows, which is so important to me because you guys already know I love good natural lighting. It also had an in-unit washer and dryer, which we already know is a non-negotiable for me, and a nice kitchen space, although I wasn't focusing too heavily on the kitchen because neither of us really cooks that much, so it didn't need to be anything over the top. One thing I was a little concerned about at first was whether the first bedroom would be big enough to function as an office. It felt a bit smaller in person. I feel like it looks a bit smaller on camera as well. But looking at the square footage overall and the size of our desks and our chairs, I think it would actually work out just fine. It just felt a bit small. The primary bedroom was definitely a highlight. It was bigger, it had a nice large closet, which I really liked. That said, I do think overall the apartment might have been a little short on closet space for both of us combined, which gave me a slight pause. That being said, though, this building had a really great amenities. There was a nice gym, a library, even a massage and spa style nook, which was a nice touch. We were just focusing on the amenity we really, really wanted, which was the gym, and everything else was just a nice little extra. Overall, this was a strong option and definitely a great choice. Very, very nice building. This next section is a slew of 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartments in building number 2, ranging from $4,000 to $4,800. Like the first building, these apartments checked all of my needs: great lighting, good space, in-unit washer and dryer, and a location that was about 40 minutes from the apartment to Grand Central, again with a short walk to the train. I actually ended up liking these apartments a bit more than the first building, which kind of surprised me, mainly because of the closet space. Both bedrooms had very deep closets, which felt much more suitable for the 2 of us, and that made a big difference overall. I don't want to be cramped, and I want to give him enough space and give myself enough space and not have anybody have to cut corners. I also thought the bathrooms were slightly nicer here. They just felt a little bit more elevated with the lighting and the placement. This building didn't have as many amenities as the first one, but it had everything we actually needed, especially a good gym. So honestly, I had no complaints here. I think this was a really nice building. We saw a lot of apartments in this building that kind of looked the same, it's just different locations. Just really, really nice. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Absolutely loved it. Great choice. Now, we toured this last building on Sunday, and it had the same general location and commute time as the others, but this one had a much shorter walk to the train. Literally right outside the front door of the building was the train. Very huge plus, very big benefit. The price range here was also slightly lower, from about $3,700 to $4,800 for a 1-bedroom with a den to a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, which definitely caught our attention because, who doesn't love to save some money? We saw several apartments in this building as well, starting with a 1-bedroom with a den that I immediately said no to because the den had no natural lighting. It was so dark in there, and I absolutely refused to live or work in a cave, especially because my actual office is also dark and has no natural lighting. It was a hard no for me, hard pass. That said, the other apartments we saw in this building were really great. Overall, these units felt much more spacious than the others, with noticeably more closet space and storage throughout the apartment, which was really great. The last apartment on the east side of the building ended up being a top contender. It had everything we needed, plus the best natural lighting out of all of the options that we saw in this building. It was really, really pretty apartment. That said, we were a little concerned about the noise level given how close the train was, but we ended up sticking around in this apartment for a couple of train cycles just to listen in on the noise, and we didn't hear anything, so it ended up being a non-issue. The amenities here weren't as extensive as the first building, but again, it had what we needed, which is the gym. So it ended up working out really well for us. Overall, a great building. Like I said, that last apartment, top contender.
I had the Sunday scary so bad last night that I'm going into work at 8 a.m. to start taking down whatever I think I have to get done. Now, could I have just opened my laptop yesterday and done some work? Yes, I could have done that. But that's neither here nor there, and we're just gonna go ahead and focus on the present. So we're gonna go in early and just start ticking through that to-do list. I have a meeting this morning, and then specifically because I have this like training later this afternoon and then a social event later this afternoon, because my firm is doing a training program for us incoming third years now who are now becoming mid-level. So it's like a transitional training to get us acclimated, at least at the beginning, to the expectations and the things we're supposed to do, and et cetera, et cetera. So we have that training for a couple of hours around 3 p.m. and then later today around 5 p.m. is a social. So I just want to make sure I have a lot of things done before then. I also have another meeting or an appointment today at 11 a.m. that I have to go to, and this is for egg freezing. So I am freezing my eggs this month with some of the money that I got from my bonus last year. I did want to spend it instead on getting a nice pair of twins, but I'm making the more adult and mature decision and to go ahead and just freeze my eggs and plan for the future. Now, obviously, with the apartment hunting and everything like that, I am in a committed relationship, and I don't see it derailing. I see it going where it's supposed to be going, obviously, but at the same time, like, life happens, and specifically I want to not feel any type of pressure when it comes to like my biological clock at any point, whether it's because like this relationship doesn't work out. I don't want to feel like I have to stay because maybe by the time it doesn't work out, I'm 30, or if it doesn't work out, I leave. I don't want to feel like I have to rush to find somebody because I'm 30 and I'm getting older. And also, I read the other week that generally women are having children at a later age, but I just want to really be prepared and really put my mind at ease when it comes to this, because I do want to have children. I do want to be a mother, and I was thinking like maybe 27, 28 is too young, but it actually is not. Like, the younger you do it, that you can do it, the better it is, because your eggs are younger, and it's just going to work a lot better. So I have my first consultation today. I think they're going to run some tests, and then I really want them to move it along because it's going to cost me like a couple of G's. My firm does have like a program, a family planning program that will cover some of this, but I just want them to take the money and leave me alone so I can stop thinking about my nice pair of twins that I'm not getting. So it's super cold. I kind of don't want to go outside, so I'm waiting over here until the train that I want to take is a little bit closer, and then we're gonna head out and just get the day started. Okay, let's just start taking through this to-do list. Let's go. Good morning. Things have been a little bit slow moving at work this week, mostly also because I've been front loading my work, and I think everybody is too busy to either get back to me super quickly. So that is also a recipe for disaster, because that probably means that everyone's going to get back to me at the exact same time. But for now, we are doing pretty okay. I did get off for my birthday though, like my vacation days were approved. I've rarely had to ask about my vacation days, like, can I take these days off, until this one for my birthday, because a lot of the deals that I'm on, about 2, are supposed to like close around that week, and some of our other associates who are like laterals from out of the country are going to be taking the bar, so there's going to be a little bit of a gap. We have been able to fill in a lot of the spots, like we have bigger teams, which is also probably why my work has kind of slowed down. Like I'm not doing a lot of the junior stuff that I would have been doing, because I have juniors that I'm having do it, and then I just kind of give them a reasonable amount of time to do the work. I review and then just kind of like pass it on. And I did most, if not all, of the work that would have started with me, so it's just like a waiting game. But I'm happy I got my birthday off. There was a time there where I thought I wasn't gonna get it off, and I know that I'm an adult or whatever, I know, but it's my birthday. It's my birthday. I can't imagine not taking like my birthday off. It just doesn't make sense. But it's early right now. I'm about to go off to work because I have to turn in something this morning. I have to do like update a couple of checklists and turn it in, and then just kind of make some appointments in regards to my egg freezing, because I got some of my tests back, and basically last month was a pretty bad month for your girl. December was super busy. For the first 2 weeks of December, I was working a lot. I had deals that kind of popped off at the same time. So for about 2 weeks there at the beginning, I was like billing about 100 hours each week. As it sounds, it was not good. It was terrible. It felt terrible. All of the things, all of the things. And during this time, I guess I was also struggling with some like health issues to do with my hormones that I was just not necessarily ignoring, but pushing, or at least putting all of the symptoms to the fact that I was just working so much, not sleeping as much, probably a little dehydrated, not eating as much. So every time I was like super exhausted, I'm just like, well, that makes sense. It's because I'm not sleeping because of work. Or if I'm just like experiencing like a little bit of like weight gain or weight fluctuation, I was like, it's because I'm just not resting. So when I rest, I'll feel better. Turns out I had other things going on. So after those 2 weeks were over and I was exhausted, I finally got to rest. Everything kind of came to like this big thing, and I ended up spending a day at the emergency room and having to kind of deal with stabilizing my hormones. And we've been able to get it to a pretty normal amount for me, still in process, but for egg freezing, they just need everything to be right. And based off of my test results, there is something that I need to go and see an endocrinologist about. So I'm gonna try and rush my PCP to give me a referral so we can get that done, and then try and get that done as soon as possible. In either case, the timeline that I wanted, which was to get everything done this month, is not going to happen because of these hormonal things. It's unfortunate, but it's really like not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I'll just pay for it. I've already balanced it out in my budget. It is what it is. Oh, also, we are definitely going to be moving in February. I think we found our apartment, and we just basically decided that let's just get the move on. Like I said, his apartment is a lot cheaper than mine. I think it's rent controlled. So there's already someone, like a friend, that wants to like move in there. And we can move in there. So we should just move. The only difference is going to be whether or not I'm still paying for this apartment. And I would really, really like not to, because the whole point of moving is, yes, moving in with the love of my life. Great, great. Also saving money. So I would really like to not have to be spending the same amount of rent over here at the same time. I was able to corner them at the leasing office though, and they will start showing my apartment this weekend. And from what they said, since my apartment is now like the second bedroom that they have, they only had one previously, they think it should go pretty quickly. So February will be moving day, probably maybe after my birthday, but somewhere around that time. But what time is it? Okay, I need to go. Yes? Yes. We are in Lake Placid for our, I think now, annual ski trip. And we were racing to come and get this room, but I knew as soon as we came in and the girls downstairs were super excited to show me this room that maybe that wasn't wise, because it is so dark in here. There's like no natural lighting whatsoever, kind of a little bit like a dungeon. And as you guys already know, I love natural lighting, but at least the bathroom is nice. Like, this is very gorgeous, and we like a good tub, so I am not mad at it. The rest of the Airbnb is also like super cute. It is smaller than the one we stayed at last year, but still super cute, and I'm excited to spend the weekend just on the baby slopes. I promised that I would not spend all my time on the baby slopes. We will see what happens once I get on the skis, and if, you know, the memory kicks back in. I really hope so. If not, then, you know, there's nothing wrong with sticking to the greens. Because it is Friday today, obviously it's a work day, so I gotta do work. We are going to, or I need to finish my part of the application for the apartment, because we did decide on the apartment, so I'm gonna do that as well at some point. We need to go back out and get some more grocery items whenever we get the chance, and then just to kick off the weekend later tonight. I'm hoping that my weekend will not be super busy. I don't think it should be, but things can always happen. But I'm gonna sit down somewhere, do some work, and then hopefully maybe front load some stuff, and hope that my weekend can be carefree. Woo! It is cold this morning, but it is snowing. It's exhausting.
It has been absolute chaos this morning. We are so busy this holiday weekend that we got here at like 8:40 and it's about to be 9:30. We just got finished like getting all our things. I am now going up little bunny slopes. We spend like at least 40 minutes here just practicing on my turns. My turns are really bad. I don't know how to do correct S's, and it's affecting my speed. So now when I go to the green, I just go way too fast. I don't know how to stop, and I freak out and I fall. So I want to get my turns right, feel confident, and then we're going to progress. But it is a nice cold day. I am warm right now, feels just inside, but I'm excited to get the day started. I am doing so well today. We fell twice, both at the beginning of getting off of the lift, and like there's one particular entrance that is just so steep. I fell there, but we've been good ever since, and good enough to unlock a new lounge up from another ski lift. We just ate lunch, some very expensive chicken tenders and fries, and now I'm about to do my final run of the day because your girl is tired. I'm tired. It's getting colder. It's snowing. But I'm going down a different green. We're still on the greens, and I don't think I'm gonna attempt to do a blue until maybe late tomorrow. But today's been so good. We're doing so good. Got her.
I love group trips because you just become Susie Homemaker even though you're not that in your day-to-day life, because breakfast has been my job for this entire weekend and low-key is enjoyable.
Huh? You need what? Taste your phone?
No.
Because you didn't get it on camera?
No, I'm saying it's not even news.
The progress. Let's see if I can focus on my turns, and then we will try and go to the one yesterday where I fell really badly and see if I can handle it.
Let me just wait for the next drop. Wait.
We just ate dinner at 11 p.m. Actually midnight. CPT is something crazy.